The 1974 Mercedes Unimog 406. I'm so excited to be here today to show you one of the coolest cars ever made, and especially this example of one of the coolest cars ever made. This 406 is sitting on 50-inch, that's 50-inch Michelin XZLs. Has a top speed of about 55 miles an hour, has a 5.7-liter six-cylinder Mercedes diesel OM 352, making 189 horsepower and 267 foot-pounds of torque. Stick around to the end of this video and we'll talk to the man who restored this incredible vehicle to what you see today. Plus, you can also buy it. I make no money on this, but as a courtesy, I'm going to put a link down in the description of this vehicle in case you would like to buy this Unimog. The Unimog was ahead of its time in that it came standard with portal axles, but it wasn't the first. I looked this up. The Volkswagen Kubelwagen had them before the Unimog. Also standard on this Mog are the rear windows, which are unique in that they bow outward. I would hate to have to replace one of these. Not standard on the Unimog, however, are obviously these cool skulls that are cut out of the steel and appear on both sides, because of course they do, but I really like that addition. Also not standard is the dual exhaust, which really completes the look, and it sounds awesome. Of course, the microphone doesn't do it justice, but here it is. Now, the biggest modification to this vehicle, however, is the extended crew cab. This Mog had the C-pillar moved rearward about 6 feet and is now enclosed with a gull-wing door on the driver's side and 2 windows on the passenger side. And my gosh, it is spacious.
A third seat up there, but it just didn't look right.
Next, we move around to the front, which has original doors and makes that great sturdy sound you would expect. Now, the original Unimogs didn't come with air conditioning because why would you have air conditioning in Africa? Instead, like many vehicles in its time, it had what my granddaddy used to call WD-40, windows down, driving 40 miles an hour. It also had these A-pillar flappy vent windows, which were common at the time, and what I'm calling the world's smallest sunroof, which is absolutely hilarious on such an enormous vehicle. But don't worry, the owner added a much needed upgrade of air conditioning, which is mounted on the roof, and a speaker for the sound system. Another much needed upgrade are the seats, which are very comfortable and manually adjustable. The owner said that the original seats were very primitive and I'm guessing quite worn, reminiscent of my days in the army driving a Humvee. In many cases, the seats were just metal, and if you were lucky, had a stadium bleacher style cushion. The rest of the interior, I'm going to let you hear the owner explain in his own words.
People have told me, well, nobody will ever steal this because they won't know how to function with it.
You're not kidding.
But basically, this is they come with either a 4-speed or an 8-speed. And then we'll start here. This is a power takeoff, front and rear. This is the 4x4 shifter, 4x4 diff locks. This is high range and low range. This is another PTO takeoff, and this is forward and reverse. PTO, high-low range PTO in the gears. So there's hydraulic lines going to the rear and the front, and this is the rear and this is the front. So you can put different utilities on the front if you so choose to. These come with large hydraulic winches that goes on the front as well. And then yeah, it's got the key, a push start button, and then you got the light switch, and yeah, I've added a few little extra electrical for USBs plugs there. But then here in the center you've got the RPM gauge, and then over here this is the air pressure that's got a onboard air compressor and system. That's the pressure right now. It's got 90 foot-pounds of pressure in there, and then the other gauges, the fuel tank and the temperature and the oil pressure. That holds my phone.
Oh, okay. Because it looks very original to the vehicle. Yeah, that's kind of funny. And moving back outside to the front, we have a couple of attachment points above and below the massive bumper. This is also where the front trunnions for the winch are and power takeoff for winch or snowplow or whatever you're using it for. Now the hood, interestingly enough, didn't come with a stick. You thought no hydraulic was primitive. Well, how about nothing at all? What you do if you want to work on it is, well, you just take off the whole thing. There are clips at the top and bottom of the hood that you'd attach, and again, the whole thing just lifts off. And there it is in all of its original glory. All 5.7 liter 6 cylinders of the Mercedes diesel OM 352 with only 500 original miles. Now, part of what gives the Mog its iconic look is that half the engine sits back into the cabin, which you can hear when you're driving down the road. It's really not all that bad, but when you want to work on this part of the engine, you just flip these tabs, the whole thing comes off, and you work on it from the inside, which kind of sucks if it's hot, but it's pretty nice if it's raining or cold. Finally, moving around to the back, since everyone seems to want to know, yes, you can fit a set of golf clubs in there. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to get the Unimog out on the road and see how it drives. Recall it has disc brakes.
It does. It has four-wheel disc brakes.
How does it stop?
It stops okay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if you'd say it stops on a dime or nothing, but
right.
Yeah, it does all right.
Maybe on a dollar. The sound it makes is just wicked.
Yeah.
And so you've had people rent this out for parties and things?
Yeah. But with its low gears and its torque, it's very capable of off-roading, you know, like...
and 50-inch tires.
Yeah.
Turns heads everywhere you go.
Oh yeah.
You ever taken it to the grocery store or the mall or something?
I've driven it down 301 main drag. People will flag me down and stop me and talk to me and high five, peace, you know, the works. You see it all.
Phones out everywhere.
The only time they're upset with me is if they're trying to get someplace and I'm in front of them going slow.
It has such a high center of gravity.
It does.
You really just bounce all around.
Yeah.
And the sound it makes is so great.
Yeah. The Unimogs were built with, as I said, 4x4 diff locks. They have power takeoff units front and rear. They have hydraulics front and rear. So they're very versatile as far as the equipment that you can put on them. They have them with backhoes and buckets and all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
But this particular one, as I said, it was customized and the body was put on it like this. And it was, people like to call it a mall crawler because it's not really something, it's too nice to take off-road and beat and bash on.
Right.
But it's cool to drive around and take off-road once in a while when you want to. So this particular one has a gull wing door.
What is this here?
Okay, this was built for a In fact, I still have it. A battery charger that would go in here
Okay.
to keep the batteries charged. If somebody is parked in a parking lot, you know,
Right.
whatever, or at a ball game or whatever, tailgating, they could actually plug this into a generator or into a wall, and it would keep the battery charged to run the systems. It's got a
okay.
It's got a sound box in the back and so forth. That's
cool.
a good picture. Yeah. But what I can tell you is these were brought to the United States not in this form. They
Right.
came in a single cab with a bed on it.
Okay.
And this particular model came to the United States as a tow tug for airplanes, for big 747s.
Is that right?
And they would use these on the tarmac to back the planes
Oh, okay.
in and out. Now, they don't use them anymore. And the way these are built, they have a dual range transfer case. This one has 4 gears. Many of them had 8 gears. And then they would put it in low range, and it's a creeper gear.
Yeah.
And they have tons of torque.
Right.
But they only go like you could crawl faster than what they would go.
Right. Right.
But they were built to push airplanes in and out, not to drive down the highway.
Crazy. So, what possessed you to start building something like this?
Well, I grew up in Africa. As a child, I grew up in Africa, and these Unimogs would come across the Sahara Desert with tourists on races.
Wow.
and other different things. And it caught my attention as just an awesome vehicle. I enjoy off-roading. So for me, the ultimate off-road vehicle was the Unimog.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is not a typical Unimog because of the construction of it. But when I had opportunity to get this Unimog, I grabbed it because of nostalgic reasons, because I remember them as a child growing up.
So, what brought you to Africa as a child?
So, my parents actually took me to Africa. My parents were missionaries back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Wow.
In Africa. So, I was only 6 months old when my parents moved to the edge of the Sahara Desert, literally Timbuktu.
Yeah.
That's the town that I grew up
far edge of
in.
nowhere.
And so I grew up there. I spoke the local languages before I spoke English.
No way.
And so my childhood was all growing up in Africa, Sorai,
Oh.
the Sorai language.
Sorai.
And then at some point I started mixing English in and so forth. But
Right.
so that's my childhood. I came back to the States in 1975 and became a tool and die maker, and then 1988 God called us back into ministry, and my wife and I went back to Africa. We're in where I grew up for 10 years, and then for the last 20 years we've been in South Africa in an orphanage, managing an orphanage.
Really?
So when I came back here, a friend of mine had this, and I got it from him. It's from the States.
Oh, okay.
But he bought it like this.
Right.
And he had mechanical problems with it and some issues, and so I took it over, and I've done a bunch of mechanical changes to it, electrical changes and so forth.
Yeah.
And so now it's in my my hands. I've actually, the build is more exciting than the drive. I enjoy driving it, but I enjoy more so the build. And so I'm ready to let it go and let somebody else have fun with it.
Well, you've had it painted then, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look,
It's all been refreshed.
What was going back to Africa like after all that time you'd spent away?
Well, for me, it was going back home.
Right.
For me, it's going back home. For my wife, that was a different story.
Yeah.
She, it's very primitive where we went, and for her, it was like going back,
Right. The surface of the moon or
2,000
something.
years, and people riding on donkeys and just all that stuff. So for her, it was tough. It was actually tough.
Oh, I bet.
She struggled.
Yeah.
In Mali. South Africa is very modern and so forth.
Yeah.
But Mali in West Africa was very
No
primitive.
air conditioning.
Nah, very primitive.
And
Very
ginormous
primitive.
bugs and
Yeah.
things like that.
I remember growing up, our first house was a mud brick house, no electricity, no
Wow.
running water. We had to go to a well and bringing, it's like homesteading or I don't know what.
Wow.
So it was very primitive there.
So many people,
Yeah.
they have to try and get themselves into the mindset of gratitude, being thankful for, like, well, I have to remind myself I live in a first world country, and even if I'm just middle class, I'm in the top 1% richest people in the world. And I guess it's pretty obvious to you,
Yeah.
having spent all that time.
Yeah,
in those
I
areas.
actually struggle with the American mentality of I want more and I want it now.
Right.
Because I've lived in parts of the world where they have nothing, they don't expect anything, and they're content to be that way. So different from the society we live in here. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did your wife think when you told her you were gonna buy this thing?
Well,
and fix it
she
up?
was actually pretty excited about it because she's known for years that this has been like not a passion,
Yeah.
but I thought it'd be so cool to own a Unimog.
Right.
And I really never expected, but my friend made it very possible for me to get it because it needed work, and
Yeah.
so she was excited about it. She's not really into off-roading, but she was happy for me that I finally was able to get something that I have admired,
Right.
for so long.
Have you taken it off road?
Well, yes, I did one time.
I bet it does really well with the portal axles and everything.
It's got portal axles. It's got, of course, it's 4x4. It's got the ranges. It's got diff locks front and rear. So it's a very capable vehicle. It is heavy. If you get it stuck, you got yourself in trouble.
I think I read 8,500 pounds or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Which can be a good thing.
8,500 pounds.
But it's still lighter than a Humvee, an up-armored Humvee.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what a Humvee weighs.
It's like 10,000.
Really?
Yeah.
I took this over the scales locally here, and it was 8,500 pounds-ish.
Yeah. Had you ever rebuilt something before?
I've growing up in Africa, you have to be very self-sufficient.
Yeah, I
and
bet.
so I'm very mechanical. Over there, there's no garages to go to, or Home Depots, or auto zones. You had to.
So hence your profession.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm very mechanical. I'm strong in electrical as well, so that really helped out on this because this
I
had
bet.
some real electrical issues.
So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more car reviews, and thank you, Phil, for letting us experience such an awesome vehicle.